Okay, Nick, I think we're good to go.
Okay, Raquel, did you see the message about turning on the interpretation function? All right, good morning, folks. It looks like the number of participants is slowed down, so I think we're ready to get going. Before we get started, we do have some interpreters joining us today for Spanish and American Sign Language, and we have some instructions you can see on the screen, and we'll have Johanna, my colleague Johanna, read those for you quickly before we get going.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to go over the instructions first in Spanish, and then I'll review them in English. Hola, bienvenidos. Antes de empezar la reunión, vamos a revisar las instrucciones para unirse al canal de interpretación al español simultánea. Si se unió hoy por Zoom, por computadora, va a hacer clic en el símbolo del globo terráqueo en la parte inferior de la pantalla. Va a elegir español y apagar el audio original, o en inglés mute original audio, para solo escuchar una voz. Y si se unió por celular o por teléfono inteligente, va a buscar el botón con 3 puntos encima de la palabra more o más en la parte inferior derecha de la pantalla. Va a elegir interpretación y después español, y va a hacer clic en Done o finalizar arriba y del lado derecha de la pantalla. Okay, so that was the instructions in Spanish. Now we'll talk about in English. You should be okay just leaving it on the original audio, but these are the instructions to get onto the English channel. So if you are accessing Zoom from a computer, you're going to click the globe icon located at the bottom of the screen. You'll select English. And then if you joined Zoom from a smartphone, you look for the button with 3 dots that says more on the bottom right side of the screen. You'll choose language interpretation, choose English, and then press done on the top right side of the screen. And I think you do not want to mute the original audio because the original audio is English. We do also have ASL interpretation today, and you will use that same globe icon to enter the ASL channel. All right, with that, I'll hand it back to Nick.
Thank you very much, Johanna. All right, so good morning and welcome to our work group meeting. My name is Nicholas Nairn Birch, and I'm the lead staff over Access Clean California. Today, I'm joined by my supervisor, Tabitha William, from CARB's Equitable Mobility Incentives branch. Before we start, I wanted to go over some logistics for today's discussion. As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. A copy of the recording will be made available on our Low Carbon Transportation Investments Meetings and Workshops webpage in about 2 weeks. The materials for today's work group, including the agenda and slides, are available on that same webpage, and a link to these materials will be dropped in the Zoom chat for your convenience. So please use the Zoom's raised hand feature to make a comment or ask a question. We'll have time for questions and comments at the end. If there are any Zoom interruptions for any reason, including those for malicious intent, we will immediately end today's meeting and send out another notice to reschedule. We are unable to allow anonymous meeting participants for security reasons, so please make sure your name is clear on the Zoom platform. If you've called in, we'll adjust your phone number and call on you if you raise your hand based on the last 4 digits of your phone number. Finally, we're fortunate, as you heard at the top of this, to be joined by Spanish and American Sign Language interpreters, and just wanted to thank them very much for being here and offering their services today. So today, we'll start with a quick background on Access Clean California, followed by a status update on the project. After that, I'll talk about the solicitation scope, requirements, and timeline. And at the end, we'll open the floor up for questions and answers. I'd like to mention that today we're going to talk about the general solicitation process. This will cover the reason for soliciting, the high-level scope of the project, the applicant's eligibility requirements, timeline, and the amount of funds available with the solicitation. We're not going to discuss any content or details of the solicitation. The ultimate purpose of today's meeting is to provide this information publicly so potential candidates have a good sense of what to expect and ask questions about the process before we release the solicitation. All right, so we'll start now with a little bit of the background. Access Clean California first began as a priority recommendation in CARB's Low-Income Barrier Study Part B, entitled Overcoming Barriers to Clean Transportation Access for Low-Income Residents. It's also known as the SB 350 Barrier Study. So specifically in that study, the third priority recommendation was to develop regional one-stop shops to increase consumer awareness and provide technical assistance. The goals of this recommendation are to increase consumer awareness of the state's clean transportation and related clean energy incentive programs, to provide consumers technical assistance to apply for and participate in CARB's clean transportation programs, and finally to focus on providing coordinated community-based outreach and education to maximize program participation and promote advanced technology vehicle adoption among our underserved communities. CARB first funded Access Clean California back in fiscal year 2017-2018 with an allocation of $5 million from the Volkswagen Settlement Fund. Under the initial name at that time, the One Stop Shop Pilot Project, CARB awarded this funding via a competitive solicitation to Grid Alternatives to administer the project. CARB allocated additional funding in fiscal year 2019-20, which was additional $5 million, another $4 million in fiscal year 21-22, and finally another million in fiscal year 22-23. That brought the total funding awarded under the initial solicitation to $15 million. To implement a capacity building grant pilot, CARB also allocated an additional $2 million to Access Clean California. Working with CARB, Grid Alternatives used this funding to successfully initiate and complete the pilot phase of the project and transition to a fully functioning project ready to scale up implementation. This work focused on two main components: building and supporting a statewide network of outreach partners and creating a streamlined, centralized application web tool called the Benefits Finder with supporting case management. These components were designed to function together, with the outreach partner network leveraging their community knowledge and trust to conduct outreach, and the Benefits Finder helping the community residents identify and apply to all suitable clean transportation incentive programs. Complementing this work, Access Clean California also developed a pilot grant program to help small grassroots community-based organizations build the necessary capacity to conduct clean transportation outreach and put them on a pathway to become formal outreach partners with the project. So talk a little bit about the project status as we are now. The Access Clean California Outreach Partner Network currently consists of 27 nonprofit organizations representing priority populations across the state. And these organizations range from the state's largest labor union, Service Employees International Union, or SCIU, to small grassroots community-based organizations. I just want to point out also that over the last couple years, the focus with forming new partners has been on partnering with community-based organizations in underserved communities. So building this network of outreach partners required, among other efforts, long periods of capacity building and relationship building with each organization to get them to a point where they have the knowledge, resources, and capability to conduct outreach. And to support the outreach partners, Access Clean California created a resource hub to make it easier for the partners to access the necessary outreach materials. This resource hub collects and centralizes the various outreach collateral created by each incentive program, as well as containing training videos and other educational materials in a user-friendly and searchable format. Access Clean California also created a platform for outreach partners to regularly convene, share lessons learned, and exchange best practices, provide programmatic updates, and in general to facilitate communication. So the Benefits Finder application tool is hosted on the Access Clean California web platform. That's accesscleanca.org. and is currently available for facilitated use by the project's outreach partners via targeted outreach in priority populations. The Benefits Finder also provides a centralized income verification option, which helps streamline one of the most burdensome steps for both the applicants and program administrators. The Benefits Finder is complemented by a case management system, which provides additional help to applicants as they navigate their various application processes. The capacity building grant pilot that I mentioned earlier successfully graduated a cohort of 6 grassroots community-based organizations, 4 of which are now formal Access Clean California outreach partners. After making adjustments based on lessons learned from that experience, the pilot is in the process of accepting another round of organizations to work with in this year. Okay, so we've done a little background on the project, update on where we are with the project now. Now I'll talk about the scope of the solicitation. So this solicitation is focused on identifying a grantee to continue implementing Access Clean California. By building on the existing achievements and resources, the grantee will continue to achieve the overarching goal of providing coordinated community-based outreach and education to maximize program participation in disadvantaged and historically underserved communities. A particular goal with this solicitation is to identify and fill outreach gaps by expanding the outreach partner network with an emphasis on partnering with community-based organizations and similar grassroots nonprofits. In doing so, Access Clean California will help outreach partners build capacity and provide the tools and resources needed to conduct coordinated outreach on behalf of CARB's clean transportation equity projects. In addition to expanding and supporting the outreach partner network, the grantee will work closely with the equity project's program administrators to ensure outreach and education efforts are coordinated, accurate, and effective. Additionally, the grantee will continue to find innovative ways to streamline and centralize the application process to all of the CARB equity projects and other relevant climate equity incentive projects where possible via the Benefits Finder application web tool. So looking at the solicitation eligibility requirements, eligible applicants are federal, state, or local government agencies, as well as California-based nonprofit organizations. Potential applicants should have the relevant experience in grant program implementation in general, and also are familiar and have expertise in CARB's clean vehicle incentive programs and other clean transportation programs, and as well as associated outreach efforts and strategies with those programs. Should also have experience forming key partnerships, especially with working with community-based organizations. Other forms of entities, such as private LLCs, are not eligible as primary administrators, but can be subcontractors. Okay, so looking at the timeline now of the solicitation, we are currently finalizing the solicitation documents, and we're aiming to release the solicitation before the end of February if possible. Once the solicitation is released, it will be open to applicants for 30 days. During this time, we will hold one Zoom webinar session to answer questions. Details of the questions and answer meeting will be in the solicitation announcement. That announcement will come out through our delivery system. In the question and answer meeting, staff will answer written or verbal questions received prior to or during the meeting, and we'll post a summary of those questions and answers on the grant solicitation page on our low carbon transportation investments website. We are planning to review and finalize the scoring process by mid-May and announce the selected grantees sometime in June, if not sooner. Okay, so finally, the grant amounts. For this solicitation, $5 million was approved by our board in the fiscal year 2023-24 funding plan, and this money was appropriated in the state budget from the general fund. CARB does have the discretion to allocate additional funding to the solicitation, as we did with the initial solicitation, as I described earlier. So with that, we are now ready to open it up to comments and questions from folks on the webinar. I'll hand it over to my colleague Violet Martin to help facilitate that. So remember to use the raised hand function and to please state your name and affiliation before asking questions or making a comment, please.
At this time, I'm not seeing any raised hands. Oh, I spoke too soon. We have a question or a comment from Ricardo Rodriguez Long. Your line is unmuted.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We can, Ricardo.
Great. Thank you very much. Yes, we are as an organization, we're very, very interested in because it's something that we've been doing for the last 10 years. And we have done, the last 2 years, we have done some outreach through basically working with car manufacturers. And what we realize is that in certain areas of California, yes, we need a lot of education. So I'm very interested in learning more and how we can collaborate. So I'm all open ears on how to tap in all your expertise and knowledge so we can help the Hispanic consumer understand the needs and the whys of this move to our clean transportation.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. Do you mind mentioning the name of your organization?
Hispanic Motor Press Foundation. It's a nonprofit. We started back in 2010. We also do the Hispanic Motor Press Awards that are for clean cars. We do that in conjunction with the LA Auto Show. This is our 15th year. We have very good partnership with car manufacturers and several organizations just like the LA Auto Show and so forth. And we want to expand that because definitely it was I would say an opening of the eyes when we did some grassroots events in the Victor Valley, especially in Adelanto, where we find out that there was only one electric charger for vehicles and it was broken. So here we were preaching to adopt electric cars. So it's like, wait a minute, something is not right. So I was like, okay, we have to do a lot more education and see what is possible, what is feasible in sort of a long-term range of what's coming.
Great. Yeah, Ricardo, you make some excellent points there, and I really appreciate you showing up and raising your hand and talking with us today. I encourage you to also just in general to please reach out. You'll see in a sec my contact information.
Right.
So please feel free to reach out to me. I can talk to you about what certainly what we're doing currently with Access Clean California and in general with outreach as well for our programs. I really appreciate it. And yeah, feel free to reach out. I also have your contact information too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Currently, there are no raised hands. Omar Julian Perez, your line is unmuted. Please as a reminder, state your name and affiliation, and also your line is unmuted. So feel free to state your comment or ask your question.
Yeah, my name's Omar. I'm with Great Alternatives. And my question is for the 30-day application, is that business days, calendar days? Just want to make sure we got that timeline down right.
Excellent question, Omar. I believe that's calendar days, but Tab or Violet, correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I believe they're calendar days.
Yeah, it's 30 calendar days.
Thank you.
We have a question from Miguel Martinez. Your line is unmuted.
Hi, I'm Miguel Martinez with Go Power EV. Are you going to be publishing a list of participants from this meeting?
Is that something that we normally do? We'd definitely be posting a recording, but I'm not sure if we post the list of the participants. But I don't know, Tab or Violet, any of the other CARB staff that have experience with this? Do you?
Don't think we've Violet, you probably know better with the other work groups.
Yes, we have posted the names of folks that indicate they're okay with their names being posted online. I'm not sure how the registration was set up to allow for that. So we'll have to confirm that the registration process included an option that allowed folks to opt out of that.
I will say too, if you're interested in connecting with folks, I can help to make that connection as well.
Okay, that would be great, because
okay.
I am interested in connecting. Maybe in addition to this project, we've received grants that require us to do outreach in communities, so disadvantaged communities. So this would be beneficial for nonprofits to contact me and for me to contact the nonprofits. Thanks.
Okay, great. Yeah, feel free to mention the name of your organization again one time. And then I've also put my contact information too, so I can help you guys make connections.
Okay. Again, my name is Miguel Martinez, and I'm with Go Power EV, and that's one word. So we're gopowerev.com.
All right. Thank you, Miguel. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We have a question or comment from Wendy Salvador. Your line's unmuted.
Yes, hi, good morning. This is Wendy Salvador with Redeemer Community Partnership in South Los Angeles. First of all, thank you for all the work you all have been doing out here in our community. We're very proud to say that we've assisted over 30 families with the purchase or lease of their electric vehicle. So again, I would like to reiterate what Miguel is saying. It would be great for us to be able to connect and be able to draw on each other's experiences. And I would also like to get more specifics about what exactly it is you all are looking for. So I'm looking forward to the meeting for the grant opportunity, the solicitation opportunity. Again, thank you so much for all the work you all are doing.
Thank you very much, Wendy. I'm familiar with your organization. You guys do great work. I'm really glad to hear that statistic you just provided. Thank you.
There are currently no hands raised. Just an FYI.
Again, I'll just remind folks to feel free to contact me too if you have any follow-up questions about the process facilitation or just in general about the project. Happy to make connections too. If you've heard from somebody but couldn't get their contact information, I can help you do that or make that connection. But if we don't have any more hands raised, right, Violet?
That's correct. No hands.
All right, I'll talk very slowly just in case there's anybody with a last minute question. If not, thanks very much everybody for joining. Look out for the solicitation announcement that will come through Gov Delivery. I will mention too, if you go to the website, the link that was dropped earlier too, you can go to make sure the links on that page will also make sure that you're signed up to all the relevant listservs to receive those notices as well. So thanks again, everybody. Thank you, CARB staff for joining and helping, and thank you to the interpreters as well. Really appreciate it. All right.